Well, hello everyone, I'm Jack. Welcome to another episode of Raw Tropical Living. I appreciate you tuning in today. Week's starting off a little overcast here in South Alabama, and that is perfectly fine with me. Any days that we can get through in our summers without a lot of heat, I'll take it because it's just crazy hot here in the summer. I'd forgotten how hot it was. Hey, just wanted to mention too, if you guys aren't already, please come over and follow me on Instagram. I'm real active over on Instagram, and I'm only getting more and more active. I'm back to doing lives over there. There's this new thing called IGTV. I'm putting videos up over there, and the videos I do over there, I'll do some of the very similar ones I do here, but I'm also delving into some different subjects. So hope you'll come check me out. It's Raw Tropical Living on Instagram as well. Today I'm on start off with a basic raw food diet reading list for the week. Guys, I do videos every day, so I'd really appreciate if you'd go ahead and go down and hit that subscribe button now. Then click on the little bell and check send notifications so you don't get unsubscribed from your channel. Go check all your channels and see if you're still subscribed to them. Now this is just my reading list because people ask me, watch my channel. There'll always be, I know right now people are going to tell me their favorites, and that's cool. There's a lot of good books out there, but this one's mine, and I tried to develop a list that was getting you on the road to rational and balanced rather than on the road to woo-woo and batshit crazy. Let me tell you something about some of the information you consume on this raw food diet or on a plant-based diet. Use your common sense. If the language makes sense to you, go with it. If it's too flowery, if it's too kind of mystical and out there, I would say your mileage may vary. At least get some, at least have some good balance there. So this is what I consider if you came to me. Once again, disclaimer, only from me because you're asking me. One would be, like I say, I like for people to have an overall view of this plant-based diet and why this works. I think just good books on the plant-based diet in general, on a whole food plant-based diet, on a low-fat, no oil, no salt, whole food plant-based diet. I think you can get a lot more of your just basics and your understanding and your knowledge of the why from just plant-based in general. But I've got some raw in there too. One I always recommend, and it could be kind of an either or, is Whole by T. Colin Campbell, or it could be the China Study. China Study was the first book I ever read, and it kind of gave me, a big picture. And if you're a big reader, and if you like to read a lot, I'd recommend reading both of them. If you've got to choose between the China Study and Whole, I might say read Whole because it gives a little bit more of a perspective. Whole being, not to worry all the time, but, talking about how we run around, oh my God, you don't need to eat everything you need to get every day. If we're just, kind of getting a balance, a variety of things, we get it. But check out Whole by T. Colin Campbell. Prevent and Reverse Heart Disease, another stellar book, should be in everybody's library, which is not in my library, but I'm going to go back and fill in on that one. And that one is by Caldwell Esselstyn, Prevent and Reverse Heart Disease, and he's a doctor, he's an MD. This is a good book. This is one of those, I'm always trying to think of the particular person that asks for recommendations, or the particular person that might be open for various information. And I like the doctors for certain people because I know that's going to resonate with them. I think Dr. Esselstyn was a cardiac surgeon or he was a doctor, I know. So he carries a lot of weight here, and he's done some phenomenal research. And his son, Rip Esselstyn, has even gone on to write a couple of good books himself. But there's some real good knowledge in that book and from this man, because he's talking about doing it, whole food, plant-based. He doesn't use oil, doesn't use salt, and you're going to get some good stuff there and good science on the lifestyle. Another good book for the science and kind of the nuts and bolts of it is How Not to Die by Dr. Michael Greger. This one's a fabulous book. Another one I haven't read, but I've listened to him over and over and over and over. A couple of his talks that are about like the main things that tend to kill people nowadays. And it's very similar. It's very similar to the book. Similar philosophy, similar thoughts in there. So highly recommend that one. Now we're slipping into some of the people that will get more into the raw. She does. I've got 2 books by this next author that I recommend, and you've heard me before if you've watched this. If you've watched this channel for any amount of time, you've heard me mention Brenda Davis. A lot of people haven't heard of her. She's not one of the, she doesn't YouTube a lot, although you can find some good talks by her that other people have done out there. And the first book I'm going to recommend is Becoming Vegan. I would say get that book. That's a good reference book. I keep that one on my Kindle. Becoming Vegan, because you can just answer a lot of questions out of there. If you're not ready to buy it yet, or in lieu of that, you can search that same term here on YouTube, and you'll come up with a couple of really good talks by her that follows along with the book very well. And the second book I recommend by her, very similar name, Becoming Raw. And it just takes it a step further with some good explanations on the raw thing. And one of the best, just such great explanations. I'm telling you, you could use that as a resource as you're getting questions from people. Well, why about this? Should I eat this? Should I do that? She gets, that one's really well written. So Becoming Raw. Nobody mentions that book hardly, but one of the, I would say, best book out there. 80-10-10. Now, I'm not a disciple, just like I'm not a disciple of anything, and just the mention of that will probably bring the disciples kind of zombieing out of the woods, and they'll be babbling at me. But I take a lot of value from that. I have read 80-10-10. I do have 80-10-10 on my Kindle as well, and that's another one good to have on your Kindle, because you can find answers for yourself and for other people as they're, as they're asking you questions about this lifestyle. It's a nice little just reference, because I can't keep all that stuff up in my head. But very good explanation. 80-10-10, yeah, by Dr. Douglas Graham. Good book. I agree with a ton of stuff in there. Once again, I'm not a disciple. Don't agree with 100%. I don't agree with 100% of anything. I'm rational. I'm about my process, and that's what this video is about a lot. People ask me stuff that's outside of what I do. I can only give you advice within my process. I'm not saying I'm right and somebody else is wrong. You might want to go to somebody else, but you got to go to somebody else for a different process. Mine is mine. And the last one that I would add in there, because and once again too, like the disciples will come crawling out on this one, and he's got a lot of disciples. The Mucusless Diet by Arnold Ehret. Get a little bit of information on this natural hygiene. If you want to take it a step further, there's some other, like Shelton and, am I saying it? Is it Shelton or Sheldon? And some other good people on this, but learn a little bit about this. Once again, as far as I get into the whole, cult-like stuff, read the book, The Mucusless Diet. Read some stuff about Ehret, more so than getting into a group on Ehret or getting into a forum or where other people are expressing their thoughts on Ehret, because you get a lot of people that are way out there, and it can be very cult-like. It can be very stuff I doubt Ehret would be really into himself, but read the book. A lot of good information in there from the natural hygienist. And yeah, that would be my starting reading list. Like I say, there's so many different books out there, and people will let me know. But these are the ones that I would recommend, and these are good, solid books that let me make sure I'm saying I do. Yeah, I return to, okay, like I told you, I don't have Prevent and Reverse Heart Disease. I don't have How Not to Die. The other books, all the other books I have, and all the other books I refer to from time to time. I don't read them over and over, but I'm looking for something or trying to find something out, and I'll go check them out. Same with Prevent and Reverse Heart Disease, and the same with How Not to Die, only I don't have the book, so I go do searches online right now, like I'll search something and then I'll put Dr. Esselstyn afterwards to get his view on it, or Dr. Greger, or like something from the specific books. But yeah, and I believe that's a good solid base right there, because there's a lot of variety in there. It's not all raw, and there's a lot of rationality in there. You're not going to hear a lot of, out there stuff that you're going to, especially if you're new to this lifestyle, and people can tend to be skeptical. You're not going to hear stuff that you're like, I don't know about this. I'm not sure even what that word means. So anyhow, just my 2 cents worth, just my recommendations. Hope you guys enjoyed this one today. If you like it, please give me a thumbs up, and I'll see you again tomorrow. Peace.